What is procrastination? How does it kill people's dreams? How does it stop people from achieving their goals and becoming successful? Why does procrastination do these things? Why do people procrastinate? These are all questions that maybe you have asked yourself, or maybe you have just asked people in general, or you just don't understand why people do it. And we're going to talk about that today here on this channel, and how you can overcome it, why people do it, and basically how procrastination is one of the main killers to people's dreams, and how it basically stops people from becoming successful. Now, there's a list of reasons why people procrastinate. You have the fear of failure, the lack of motivation, overwhelmed by tasks, and you always have that person that just wants to be a perfectionist, or either, like we always hear, lack of energy. And there's many of other reasons, but these topics right here I really want to cover because these are the ones that stood out to me. And these are the main reasons why I hear people on why they procrastinate. And it's just crazy to me. The fear of failure, the lack of motivation, you're overwhelmed by tasks, and the lack of energy. These are all things that people deal with on a daily. And if you haven't been through these things, you're just not human. Even I've been through these things. And we usually go through them. We usually go through them in middle school, through high school, and then if we decide to go to university, we deal with them in university. And we deal with them in our everyday lives if we have a job. If you have kids, if you have bills to pay, we usually deal with these things. And I'm pretty sure the reason why you clicked on this video is to get some answers on how to overcome some of these things that I just list. The fear of failure, the lack of motivation, the overwhelmed by tasks, and the lack of energy. Well, we're going to cover that in this video. But first, I want to answer the question, what is procrastination? And I'm going to look up the definition right here on my laptop. What is the definition of procrastination? And the definition of procrastination is delay or postpone action put off on doing something. Now, the question is, why do people do that? And I'm going to cover the first topic. Why do people do that? Matter of fact, we're going to cover the first topic, and we're going to also offer a solution to it. And we're just going to go down the list. Now, the first reason why people really procrastinate is the fear of failure. Now, we all have had the fear of failing at something. We always had the fear of not achieving our dreams and goals and success. And when it comes to that, it's either we don't know what it could be, we don't know how the outcome will look, or either we just don't know how the results will be. And sometimes we get so scared to the point where we just don't want to know what the results could be. We don't want to fail. We don't want to disappoint ourselves. So what a lot of people end up doing is running away from that dream and that goal because they are afraid to fail. Now, we all have been there before. Even me. Before I even started this YouTube channel, I was afraid to be on camera. I was afraid to be judged. So I would procrastinate on starting a YouTube channel. I would try to find other businesses that I can start. I'll try to find other things that I can start to do instead of doing what I like to do, which is talk about procrastination, self-growth, self-development, and things like that. And what I figured out about the fear of failure is that the only cure to it is just to begin. And whatever that dream or goal or whatever you're trying to achieve, I've learned that the first step is always the hardest. And that's what I've always noticed about when it just comes to doing anything. The first step is always the hardest. And then, you just put one step in front of the other and it becomes easier. Now, I'm not going to say that I haven't sat up here and failed before, but when it comes to the fear of failure, you have to think about it like this. There would not be no success if it wasn't for failure. We would not know how good the taste of success would be if it wasn't for how bitter the taste of failure was. So I believe that in order to get over the fear of failure, you have to learn that you're going to fail. And you have to accept the fact that you're going to fail. But the thing about getting over the fear of failure is when you fail, you have to tell yourself that, hey, we're going to keep trying. We're going to self-evaluate. We're going to see what we can do right or what we're doing wrong, and to fix what we're doing wrong to do it right, so then we can eventually win. And it's all about being consistent when you do it. And it's also about persevering. Now, I say the word persevering, and my definition of persevering is to just keep going. Don't look at the results. Don't look at where you stand at now. Just put your head down and continue to work. many people don't do that. They look up, many people start working. Matter of fact, we'll do working out for an example. Let's say we have a very fat person and they want to lose weight, and they start going to the gym, and they've been to the gym for about a week or 2 weeks, and you don't see any results. Most people will quit because they're not seeing results. They'll think, well, I'm wasting my time. But the person that goes to the gym every day, no matter how they feel, and they decide to persevere through their feelings, and they focus on their dreams and their goals and the person that they want to become, that's the person that really wants to win, and that's the person that really sees the results. I believe the fear of failure comes from when you're result-based driven. And when you're result-based driven, you build up everything in you to be like, well, I don't want to fail. And if you don't see the results that you want to see, there's a problem, there's an issue, so you avoid doing it, and you give yourself 1,000 reasons on why you do it. And you just have to stop thinking result-based. Think of enjoying the process, enjoy the hunt, and enjoy the journey of you just becoming a new person, or you enjoying the process of achieving that goal. Because when you achieve that goal, you'll think of everything that you had to go through to achieve that goal, and it'll make success so much better than you saying, well, I can't wait. Just think about, day by day, I achieve this day by day, I achieve that day by day. Count your small wins until you get up to that big win. That's how you get over the fear of failure. Now, the next one that I'm really going to talk about is a very tricky one. It says lack of motivation is one of the top reasons why people procrastinate. Lack of motivation. The reason why I don't agree with this is because I don't believe in motivation. I'm more of a disciplined person. I'm disciplined over motivation any day, because when you're disciplined, you achieve things. But we're going to talk about lack of motivation. Now, I know I just said I don't like motivation, and this is the reason why I don't like motivation. Because motivation fluctuates. Motivation goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes stagnant, then it goes up, then it goes down again. Motivation comes and goes. It's like emotions. They come and go. So, and lack of motivation, if you have lack of motivation, you simply just don't want it. That's how I view it. You don't want whatever you're chasing. You don't want whatever that goal is. You don't want that dream to come true if you have lack of motivation. I've never heard anybody sit up there and say, well, I just lack motivation. Well, how do you cure that? And the answer to that is make whatever you're doing personal. Make sure it's personal to you. Make sure that you have to have that mindset. If I don't achieve this, I can't live without achieving this. I cannot accept the fact that I cannot achieve this. That's the mindset that I have. When it comes to me doing schoolwork, when it comes to me working out, when it comes to me just doing anything, I set every goal and dream that I've put out. It has always been personal with me, and I've always achieved it because it's always been personal. Now, the reason why I say make it personal is because when you make things personal, you really have that desire and that fire, and it builds discipline, because like I said, you can't live without it. So then you create this discipline of where you do something every day, and you're consistent, and you're doing it over a course of time. And over a course of time, with you doing those good things and those good habits, you achieve what you want to achieve, sometimes faster than you think. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, if you want to lose weight, you're going to lose it in 3 months, but it depends on that desire and fire. You could lose 50 pounds in 3 months if you work out 3 times a day and you're only drinking water and you're eating as clean as possible. It's possible. And most people have done it before because those dreams and goals have been personal to them. They're so personal that to the point that they can't live without achieving it. Have you guys ever watched My 600 Pound Life? And they tell the very fat people that, excuse my language, no disrespect to them, but they're fat, and that's what I'm going to call them. If you don't like it, click off the video. But this is just my opinion. But they're very fat, and the doctor always tells them, if you continue down this road, you're going to die. And that usually strikes the fear in their ass. They get scared as fuck, and then they're like, okay, I need to lose this weight. And it became personal. Them dying was personal. So then that shit became personal, and then before you know it, they started working out. They started eating right. They started doing everything they could. So I just feel like lack of motivation, the cure to that is making your dreams and goals personal. If your dreams and goals are not personal, they're not big enough for you, and you're not dreaming big enough, or your goals are just not big enough, and you're not challenging yourself. So the lack of motivation one, that's easy. Make them personal. Okay. Now, the next one, it says overwhelmed by task. Now, with me being a college student, with me, being, just me being a college student, that's all I really have to say. I used to be a student athlete too. You're really overwhelmed by task. And I guess, not even I guess, in my opinion, when people are overwhelmed by tasks, I believe that they're taking on too much that they can handle. And most people don't realize that they take on too much to handle. And when people take on too much to handle, like when they take on too much that they can handle, excuse me, I'm sorry. When people take on too much that they can handle, they tend to stress themselves out, and they tend to procrastinate because they're so stressed out that they can't even think about what they're going to do next. Now, you guys are asking yourself, how can I cure this? How can I get over this? Well, when you're overwhelmed by tasks, look at the tasks that you're doing. And when you're looking at the tasks that you're doing, I want you to think about what's most important to you and what's paying you and what's not. Like, for an example, I'm an RA in school. And on top of that, I have classes. And on top of that, I want to join some orgs. But maybe I don't have time for orgs. So what's paying me right now? If RA is paying me for school, I'm not going to procrastinate on being an RA. If homework is helping me stay in school, I'm not going to procrastinate on doing the homework. So when you're overwhelmed by tasks, you have to look at the tasks, the tasks that are more important to you, and focus on those. You don't want to, you never want to try to, stress yourself out to the point where, you know what I mean? To the point where you don't even know what you're thinking or how you're feeling or what you need to do next. You never really want to think about that, because if you get to that point, life is going to get very difficult for you. I've been there, been down that road, and my suggestion to you is slow down. And my advice to you is, if you're in your 20s, because I'm 22, you're not supposed to have life figured out. You're stressing yourself out if you think you're supposed to have it all figured out. My suggestion to you is get off social media and watch you some YouTube on educational things and self-educate yourself. And that's one of the best things that I've ever done. And when you do that, the tasks that you have, it becomes simpler, it becomes easy to focus, and you just know what you need to do. And when you're overwhelmed by tasks, like I said, just look at the tasks that you're doing, see what's important to you, not important to your mom, not important to dad, not important to the damn dog. See what's important to you, bro, and focus on what you want to focus on. And I say, whatever you want to do it, because it's your life. So never let other tasks overwhelm you with what you want to do. And that's the way you can cure that. That's just my opinion. It's a simple fix, not very hard to do. It just takes time to self-evaluate and look at what you really want to do. And most people don't take that time out. And I suggest that you take that time out. Now, the next thing on this list is being a perfectionist. Most people procrastinate because they feel like everything has to be perfect. And you know what I mean by a perfectionist. And we all have heard this before. You ready? You ready for this magic word? Most people believe that they have to wait for the right time to do something. And I'm here to tell you, there is no such thing as the right time to do something. There isn't. There is no right time. Nothing's going to be perfect in your life. It's going to be very rare in your life where all things line up and everything's just perfect. I say, the reason why I say that is because in life, things happen, things come and go, things fly our way. We have bumps in the road, we have walls we have to climb over, we have walls that we have to climb under. And you never know when it's going to come, you never know when it's going to happen. So my suggestion to you guys is that stop trying to be a perfectionist and just be you. And you being you is the best version of you. And I'm not going to lie, there's nobody out here perfect. The only perfect person that I do know is God. And nobody on this earth is God. And stop trying to live for the opinions of others and the validation of others. And stop procrastinating on what you want to do. If you want to do anything in this world, if you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start a clothing brand, if you want to start doing your homework, if you want better grades, if you want something in general, I've heard this quote, and it came from The Rock, and it goes like this: one day or day one. And what you perfectionists are doing is when it comes to procrastinating, you guys keep saying one day, one day, one day. And when you keep choosing one day, one day, one day, you're becoming a feather in the wind, and you're letting the wind control your life. And you're praying that you land somewhere lucky instead of landing in some shit. And most feathers in the wind land in shit. I've been there, done that, and it's not fun. I say to you perfectionists, take control of your life and stop waiting, and just choose day one. The person that chooses day one, day two, day three, day four, day five, they see progress, they see growth, and they see the wins. They get the sweet taste of victory. Most people don't when they choose one day. Now, the next one is a tricky one, because I'm like that. It's difficulty concentrating. Now, most people have a hard time keeping their focus on something. Now, I have ADHD, I have Asperger's syndrome, I'm autistic. And if you don't believe it or not, I am. I have a hard time traveling, I have a hard time studying, I have a hard time doing all these things. And I still have managed to make it to school, be a junior in school, major in one of the hardest majors in the world, which is computer engineering, and actually be somewhat successful at it. Now, difficulty concentrating. I believe if you have difficulty concentrating or keeping your focus, it's because you're doing something that you're not interested in. You're doing something that you don't want to do. And I'm not going to lie, my father gave me this advice. There's always going to be something in life that you don't like, or that you're always going to have to do something that you don't want to do. Now, I'm not saying that, you have to be unhappy your whole life. But what I'm saying is that if you're having a hard time focus, you need to find something that you're very much into. And I can speak on my own testimony. I didn't like reading. I didn't like sitting in the classrooms. I was a very hands-on person. Like, I was very active as a kid, like very active. I couldn't sit still until I was focused on something that I love. And the thing that I was focused on was sports. And I love basketball, I love football. Or either I love money. So when I couldn't do sports no more, that's another story. When school wasn't fun for me in high school, and it was time to go to school, I was like, well, I know I have a hard time focusing. I know I don't like school. What is something that I could really focus on? What is something that I could really focus on that I would enjoy, and I'm hands-on? Well, computer engineering. Why computer engineering? Because I'm hands-on. I get to touch on the laptop. I get the code. I get the lookup code. I get the fix code. It grasps my attention. So if you have difficult concentrating, you need to find something that grasps your attention and that holds your attention. And that something could be from talking to running and working out. It could be anything. If you like eating or if you like food, find a book about food that you could read about and that'll grasp your attention. Find a show, do something that grasps your attention so you can focus. And when it comes to people in school, if you're having difficulty concentrating, well, look at your major and find something that grasps your attention. A book or an author that grasps your attention on what you're learning. Like, do you remember those YouTube videos that we used to watch in middle school and how they used to rap and they used to teach you stuff at the same time? Those always grasp my attention. So when it comes to coding, I like to listen to music and I like to, write down little songs write little songs down to help me remember what a while loop is, what a for loop is. And that helped me study and that helped me remember things. So just think of creative ways to help you study and to keep your focus. And at the end of the day, if you are having a hard time focusing, I think you guys just need to self-evaluate and see if you're doing something that you really like to do. Because if you're doing something that you don't like to do, my advice is to you is find something that you like to do. Find something that keeps your attention. Find something that basically helps you stay focused. Now, this is the last. Well, we have 2 more to go, but this one, I hate this shit. I can't stand this shit, and I fix this shit in my life, and I'm willing to help you guys fix this shit. But the next one, it says poor time management. Now, poor time management is fucking sick. If you have poor time management, it's because you just wake up and you do what you just go about life as if life is just happening. You're living life like life is a movie, and and you don't care. And when it comes to poor time management, I believe that it's an easy fix. Think about what you need to do. Think about what you need to do. Think about what's most important. Think about, think about what you just need to do. What's more important throughout the day. Get the things that you need done. Like, don't push them off. It's easy. Like, if you want to do the things that you want to do, sometimes you have to do the things that you don't want to do. And poor time management, you're just doing the things that you want to do before you do the things that you need to do. And that's just poor decision making. And poor decision making can't be fixed unless you start making the right decision. There's no cure to poor decision making, as in there's no cure to poor decision making. Poor decision making leads to poor time management. Poor time management leads to procrastination. Procrastination leads to you becoming a bum. And if you want to be a bum, make bad decisions, then it leads to poor time management, then it leads to you being a bum. That's basically what I think it is. And the only way to cure that is making the right decisions. Do what you need to do what you want to do, and you just fix poor time management. It's fucking simple. It's easy. It's an easy fix. There's nothing difficult about it. All you have to do is self-evaluate, see what you need to do, and boom, it's fixed. Now this last one is the lack of energy. Many people think they don't have enough time. Many people think they have lack of energy. But let's really think about it. How many of us really sit up all night and scroll on TikTok? How many of us really scroll all night on Instagram? How many of us are just binge watching a show on Netflix or Hulu or on Disney Plus? That's the reason why we have lack of energy. And like I just said, when it came to poor time management, it's poor decision making. If you have lack of energy, it's because you're doing the wrong things. Now, there's some people that work overnight, or there's some people that just really work hard and they just have lack of energy. And my way of how I would fix that, if that was you, is that sometimes you have to persevere. Sometimes you have to keep going. And excuse my language and excuse what I'm about to say right now, but if you work hard and you're very tired all the time, I've always told myself I'll rest when I'm dead. I believe if you're chasing a goal, if you're chasing a dream, if you're trying to achieve something, you're supposed to be tired. Lack of energy is just an excuse of you just telling yourself why you get to sit on your ass. You're giving yourself validation on why you're allowed to sit on your ass. And I'm gonna be honest, I believe that you're supposed to be tired when you're chasing your dream. I yawned in the video earlier. I'm tired right now. Everybody's tired, and that's no excuse to procrastinate. And I feel like all these that we just went over are excuses, but I gave you a way to overcome those excuses. And if you watch this video, my advice to you is don't let your excuses hold you down. Excuses only sound good to the people that are saying them. So if you want to stop procrastinating, if you want to become successful, don't procrastinate, make great decisions, and all you have to do is be disciplined. And I love you guys and continue to be great. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you subscribe.